Good morning to those who will listen. It is November 13th, 2018, 2:56 a.m. And this is what I'm going to say to the judge. I mean, it's not going to be exact. This is a rough draft. And I wanted to get you guys' opinions and thoughts on if there's anything I should add or subtract, or maybe how I should word this. But here's what I've got so far. I have a whole entire folder full of evidence. Let's see if I put the. All right, I got the mold results. I have doctor's letters. I have letters from the apartment complex and Section 8. I have a rental agreement with my sister. I'm paying her $50 a week. Lawyer's letters. I have the hospital and the ER visits. And I have information on mold guidelines, and mold health effects from WHO, the World Health Organization, CDC, the Institute of Medicine, and the Mayo Clinic. And I have pictures, 33 pictures of all the mold I found in the apartment, the worst being in the dishwasher. Okay, so this is, I'm sorry, I'm really tired. I've been doing this half the night. So I don't know. I'm tired. I hope I do this right. Now I got things that I wrote in the order that I wanted it, but then there's things that I added, and so I got arrows pointing certain ways. So hopefully I'll say this in the right order that it should be in. Okay, here we go. Where did I put it? Okay, I'm going to start it out as, this was not a choice. Your Honor, I will show you evidence that I could not live at my apartment due to health problems. I will show you evidence that there was Alternaria mold in my apartment, and evidence that I am allergic to Alternaria mold. In the rules and regulations in the Section 8 voucher, it states that Section 8 and the apartment complex must provide a safe and livable environment. On July 24th, I moved into my apartment, and 2 days later, I was in the hospital with breathing problems. I was in the hospital 3 times and the ER 3 times with breathing problems and walking pneumonia. The last time I had pneumonia was in 1999. Each time I went back to the apartment, I would develop breathing problems. And every time I left my apartment, I would be able to breathe again. I did not have any breathing problems anywhere else I have been. Of the 3 months I paid rent, I maybe stayed at the apartment 1 month. I had to stay with my sister the rest of the time. After the 3rd time going to the hospital or ER, I started to think it was the apartment. I noticed a dirty air conditioner unit and furnace. I then discovered mold under the sink from a leak from the garbage disposal. I notified the maintenance crew and management, and they quickly cleaned the mold and repaired the garbage disposal. And they also repaired the paneling below. I didn't put that in there. I'll add that to it. A few days after that, I had more breathing problems and notified management, and they came and inspected the apartment. Again, they found nothing else and declared there was nothing in the apartment that was making me sick, and blamed it on previous health conditions and the fact I didn't run the air conditioner all the time. I used the air conditioner, but not as much, because my breathing problems got worse when I had the air conditioning on. I found mold in many other parts of the apartment. I begged the apartment complex to please move me to another apartment, but they said they couldn't. It was against their policy. I asked if they could make an exception, but they refused. I got Section 8 to do another inspection, but they found no evidence of mold or water leaks. In September, I purchased a mold test kit and sent the sample to Pro Labs. It came back positive for Alternaria mold, but not elevated. Management in Section 8 said since it was not elevated, it was not a problem, and said I would have to live there or leave and lose Section 8. I had no choice. It was either stay there and continue to get sick, or leave and risk having to pay the lease off while not living there and lose Section 8. The law states if there is a health issue that makes it impossible for someone to live at a residence, Section 8 has to move you to another residence. I think I have enough evidence to prove it was not safe for me to live at that apartment. I asked many times to to move me to another apartment or let me out of the lease, but they refused. I had my lawyer send them an offer to rescind the lease, but they also refused that offer. I have lost wages, hospital bills, prescriptions, rent at sister's house, lab results, U-Haul rental, storage room rental that I had to pay out of pocket. By me missing so much work, I eventually lost my job. It took 2.5 years to get on Section 8 and 1 year residency in Colorado to be able to port to Davenport. Why would I risk losing my Section 8 voucher to make up a health claim? The apartment was nice. My body just couldn't handle the mold exposure. I have several letters from my family doctor and pulmonary specialist stating that any amount of mold exposure can cause breathing problems, and I should avoid exposure by moving out of my apartment. Section 8 terminated my Section 8 voucher, stating I didn't notify them I was moving. On October 22nd, they terminated my voucher, even though I was paid up on the lease through the end of October. I did everything the apartment complex and my lawyer said to do, but that is what terminated my Section 8 voucher. I humbly ask Your Honor to review my evidence so I can be reinstated on my Section 8 voucher and then be able to find a safe and livable apartment to live in. Thank you. God bless. And I thought I would just say, I wanted to state this as nicely as I could without, blaming, them for that. I mean, I had to state, I think I worded it well. And I wanted to make sure I said thank you at the end and Your Honor, and also to say God bless. So I'm hoping that this is enough. I mean, it should be. I mean, just the fact that I was exposed to this mold, and they admitted that there was mold there because the sink, when they repaired the sink, they cleaned the mold and then repaired the floorboard, the cupboard boards, whatever you want to call it. And so they knew there was mold, at least in one place. And usually if there's mold in one place, you can probably find it somewhere else, but they kept claiming there was nothing else they could find. So with this evidence, I show the mold in the pictures. I did the lab test, and it came back positive for the Alternaria mold. It wasn't elevated, but my doctor says that any amount of mold can cause breathing problems for people that have asthma or respiratory problems or a weakened immune system. And this is exactly what happened. So the test that they did proved that I have an allergy, not just sensitivity, but an actual allergy to this exact mold that was in the apartment. So I don't see how the judge could favor the Section 8, because I did everything I was supposed to do. I did everything the apartment complex told me to do. I did everything the lawyer told me to do, but that was what made the Section 8 voucher terminate. So I'm thinking that I should have a strong case and I should win. I mean, I don't see anything. To me, it's so clear. I have the most clear evidence. And the fact that why would anybody risk losing their Section 8 voucher to claim a false health claim? And what would I get out of, doing this? I didn't gain anything out of it. I lost everything. I lost my entire life savings. I mean, my life savings was only $2,800, but I lost my entire savings. I have only a couple $100 left. And I lost my job. And I also forgot to say in the thing about my kids. I haven't been able to see my kids, barely. They only got to come over 2 nights. 2 days they came over and spent the night. And 1 day they came over during the day, but then I took them back home. And that was it. And then I've seen them a few times here and there for just a tiny bit amount of time at my ex's house. So that's another frustrating thing that I need to throw in there. I got to put that in there somewhere, because that is a major thing. I mean, the whole reason I moved here was to be with my kids. And since this mold issue happened, I haven't been able to have my kids over. One, because I've been so sick, and two, I don't want them to be exposed to it and get sick also. So there it is. Tell me what you guys think. I have to add that part in there with the kids. I'll put that at the end. But let me know what you think, and if you think I should add anything or subtract anything. I don't want to make it long. I think it wasn't that long. I think that was pretty good. And if there's anything I should add or subtract, or anything I should say differently, should I word anything differently in there to make it sound more professional, or I guess pleasing to the judge's ears. And all I ask again is please pray for me and the situation. And all I ask is to pray for God's will in the situation. I really believe that God's will in this situation is for me to win this so I can have an actual place to live. I don't think God wants me to be suffering forever. Being at my sister's house is very stressful, and I have many allergies here. And in the report with the allergies, it also has dog, which is moderate amount, I guess, and cat, which is off the charts. The dog dander was 1.63, and it was 1.6 or something like that. And then the cat dander was 11.6 or 11.8 or something like that. It was really high. And then, there's other things out there too, of course, the mold. But at my sister's house, there's a cat, there's a dog, there's smoke, I believe there's some dust and stuff in the vents when the heat comes on. So it's stressful to be here. Plus, I'm spending $200 a month, $50 a week. I've had stayed at $50 a week because I didn't know how long I would be here. I thought I was going to be out of here by now, so that's why we've been doing it week to week, because I didn't know how long I would be here. I actually thought I would have been moved out by now, but circumstances happened. What was I going to say really fast? Yeah, I forgot. But the main thing is just pray for God's will in the situation. I'm not praying to get anything out of this except for another place, whatever. And I'm just asking for fairness too, because I'm going to have to try to compensate my losses with the apartment complex after I win the Section 8 voucher back. But once I win the Section 8 voucher back, that proves that the judge saw that there was evidence that I couldn't live there. And then that they will have to terminate the lease. And I would think they would have to at least refund me some money and pay me for lost wages and stuff like that. I'm only asking for what's fair. And under Iowa law, the most you can receive in small claims court is $6,500. And I think that I probably lost more than that. I mean, maybe not financially wise, but I think I've lost a lot more through pain and suffering and losing a job and all that to be equal to that at least. But again, all I ask for what is fair. And that's all I ask. And I ask for just God's will. So please pray for God's will in the situation and fairness and justice to be done. And that's all I can ask. And that's all I ask. So thank you guys for watching and listening. And I appreciate all your prayers. I appreciate any ideas and thoughts and help. Starflower, you did an awesome job. And I'm using a lot of the information that you suggested from the WHO and the CDC. And I found some additional information from the Mayo Clinic too, and also the Institute of Medicine. I'm not sure if the Institute of Medicine was part of the stuff that you suggested. I think it might have been included with the WHO stuff. I'm not sure. But thank you so much, because it's been a really big help. And you've also been helping with, how I should go about doing this. So I really appreciate that. And I just thank everybody else for all your prayers and well wishes. And I just know that in the end here, God will do his will, and everything will work out according to what is supposed to happen. Thank you guys for watching. God bless. I love you guys.